Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of How I Failed in Business, the podcast that's not here to celebrate the successes, we're here to celebrate the losses. And we're here to talk about how the fact that they aren't the end of the world and everyone should just be a little less anxious of doing things wrong. As always, I am one half of your hosting duo, Sophia Grace, and with me is...
the better host, Rob. Sorry. I just had to because we spoke about it yesterday.
Yeah.
My name is Rob Spence, your other host.
And much more happy to have him on the other side of me, we have
Stef.
We have Stef Wardle of Medical Made Easy Limited.
Hello.
Hello, Stef.
Hi. How are you?
Thanks for coming in.
We're good.
So that's great. That's great to be here. Love the new offices.
Thank you very much. Steph said to me off camera, that this was the best podcast studio he's been in.
Have you only been in one?
Actually, yes. I have. And now the person's going to know. Who's watching this? That I've said that this room is better than his.
He said it was on par with the other one he'd been in.
There we go.
But it's a nice
This
little
is brighter.
studio.
Yeah, well, we're purely
Welcome.
windows in this entire building.
As you can tell by the heat that we're now portraying through the offices.
We may as well just have no walls.
No, exactly. But Steph, look, I consider you a friend more so than a business contact. You're one of the first sort of businesses I spoke to. I remember we met up at Palmer's Garden Centre.
We did.
And
Great place to meet.
Lovely place to meet because it's like literally a you know where I live. It's 2 seconds walk from my house.
Yeah,
it was a very awkward thing.
I lived like 2 hours away.
No, you lived in a 10-minute drive away. It was a very awkward situation. So first time I've ever met Steph, we had this meeting booked, and I walk in, I can see Steph's already in there. He sat down at a table. Like, don't worry, I'll get the coffees, I'll get whatever we're having. And then I'm stood in a queue for about 20 minutes. So Steph's on the table just waiting, and I'm stood in this queue behind Doris and Betsy and Betty and Roy and everyone else in the garden centre.
Yeah, I thought I'd been stood up like...
Kept looking over to him. I was
no.
like, I'm still here, Steph, I'm still here. But it's been a long time, so thanks for joining us. But tell us all about Medical Made Easy. Tell us about what you do, why you do it, and tell us about your passions.
Well, Medical Made Easy, I guess starting from the beginning... I'll tell a little story.
Please
I left college, not doing very well, and at that time you could just go to any agency and get a job, really. So that's what I did. I left college without any great grades, and then went to an agency, and they got me a job working at AXA PPP Healthcare, just an admin guy. I was there for 18 years, worked my way up, got on the road looking after brokers that sell private medical insurance to businesses, and I decided that I wanted to become a broker because selling one insurance company's products, you've not got much control over the decision making that a client makes, the ultimate end user of the product. And so I left there and became a broker, worked for a brokerage for 5 years, and then threw my dummy out the pram, to be honest, with them, and set up on my own with the help of Pete Simpson of MME. I've been doing that for 10, 15 years now. So really, my role as an insurance broker, specialising in employee benefits, is to advise businesses on products such as private medical insurance, cash plans, group life cover for their staff. And it's all about nurturing your staff, making them feel wanted. It's a good recruitment tool, good retention tool. I mean, I never left AXA for years, mainly because... once you work for a company, you're too scared to leave and do something completely different. But also, they gave me all these benefits that I didn't think I'd get anywhere else. So I just stuck around. It was great to have. So I just advise businesses on the difference in employee benefits, the different products that are out there that they can have, and it's great. I love it. And it's not like selling bricks and mortar insurance.
That's the boring insurance.
Yeah, it's boring insurance. You want to sell insurance that that someone's used it and they've had cancer treatment, or they've had a heart problem that's got better, or they've just sprained their knee and managed to get some physio. So the whole gamut of medical conditions that can happen to you. It's good to know that what I'm promoting is helping people at the end of the day, and you don't have to wait on the NHS for years.
I was going to say, look, we know that the NHS is struggling and probably has struggled for quite a long time. Is there a great benefit then for employees to kind of go more private? Do you you think?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you run a business, you've got employees, and one of them's not feeling well and not doing anything about it because they can't. I mean, I honest story. I rang my GP yesterday to talk to them about an issue prior to using my private medical insurance. The first GP appointment is they've given me like a November date to go and see them.
Wow.
If I use my private medical insurance, I can just ring up my insurer and have a Skype conversation with the GP over the phone, and I could see somebody in a couple of days. I can't because the condition I want to talk about, I'm not covered for.
Oh, okay.
And I completely understand why. So, but yeah. So for companies wanting private medical insurance, you know, if your staff member's feeling unwell and they're sitting there, there's presenteeism where you're worried about something and you're not working effectively because you're just worried about this medical condition that you've got that you're scared about. You know, it could be a lump, it could be just not feeling well. So why not put something in place where your staff member can ring a GP within 24 hours and go and see someone and get it looked at? One example of that, where I worked before, a guy came up to me and he'd found a lump in his mouth and he was really worried about it, and he'd been worried about it for a couple of weeks. I said, just ring the private medical insurance company. But he asked me to do it for him, and we did that while I sat with him, and he was seeing like a specialist within, I think it was the next day or the day after, and just to be told, don't worry about it, it's nothing. It is a lump, but it will go away. But the peace of mind that it gave that chap, you know, he can come back to work happy as Larry, and his family were worried about him because he was talking about his, you know, so it's really
allows him to be more present in the situation, like you say.
I mean, it's quite just depressing, my job, really.
No, not at all.
The amount of people I talk to that you know, testicular cancer and
but
stuff like that.
I think like the realism of it is that the statistics will say that like all of us are going to suffer some major ailment at some stage in our lives, and we all know someone who's been affected by, you know, I think it's now every 1 in 2 people will suffer from some form of cancer variation to a degree, whether that be ourselves directly or those in our family. So although I know what you're saying, it's quite a depressing thing to talk about, actually we need to talk about it because we just don't know what's around the corner.
And mental health as well. You know, it's another big one that private medical insurance provide. Mental health, telephone counselling, and going to see someone face to face. You do it on the NHS, you're waiting a couple of years. Huge thing for the workplace, I believe. You know, the stresses that you got from work itself, and then home life, maybe bereavement that gets in the way of everything. So yeah, there's a whole range of things you can claim for with private medical insurance that an employer should put in place to look after their staff, but also it's great for the business because you've not got people off work for ages worrying about stuff. You want them there working, earning your money, and if they are away ill, you want them back to work as quickly as possible.
Damn straight we do.
within the limits of being unwell and needing to get better.
Definitely.
But why not get better in your own private room in a private hospital rather than on an NHS ward where you've got a guy next to you slowly dying.
Well, it could be.
But it might be.
It could be. Knowing the NHS, he went in for a sprained ankle. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just don't. We probably shouldn't joke about that. But
when people are just snoring and coughing and sneezing, and they've got the family in, like all 20
your
of
own
them.
space, don't you?
Oh God.
Do you think that's something we should offer for team members? Clearly, the answer is going to be yes.
Who's saying no to private medical insurance?
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
Great. Yeah. I used mine. I did use mine last year, actually. No, this year, to get some stuff sorted out, and it's amazing. You go into these hospitals, these private hospitals, they're like hotels. You wouldn't know anyone was there, you know, because you get taken to your private room, and then you settle yourself in, put on some, as I had to do, these weird white socks.
Oh yeah.
Have you not got them on today? Have you not modelled them?
I've still got some at home. I should have brought them. I wear them on my head now just for fun. And yeah, they come and collect you. They take you to the operating theatre, you know, on a trolley or walking. You don't see anybody. It's just so well organised and quiet and peaceful that.
But it must be a nice business and job to be in, I would have thought.
Rewarding.
Yeah. To offer all that. And especially, I love what you said about like the mental health side of things, because once again, you naturally deviate towards the cancers, to the sprained ankles, to the, you know, the undiagnosed lump, that kind of thing. But actually, there's a massive need Because I think really for what we do as well, that need for good mental health support is ideal, isn't it?
I'm not knocking the NHS either, because I've used the NHS and they're great. But I mean, what other people like me offer is just an alternative way of getting treatment that's not the NHS. It's private, and it is a much better experience that you obviously have to pay for, monthly, like you do any insurance, car insurance, home insurance. But it's up to me to manage those premiums as well. Every year doing reviews and making sure you're not paying over the odds. And if you've claimed, can you swear on this podcast?
What's going?
Yeah.
If you've claimed the arse off it.
Oh, not that word.
Then
no.
then discussions happen. Try and help you understand why. And you just try and do what you can to bring the premiums down, make them more manageable going forward. But that's it. Yeah, I love it. It's good. I love the job. It's a great thing to do.
Good.
I want to be a rock star, really, but
we'll come on to that.
We need our day jobs, though, don't we?
Exactly.
Yeah, we do.
To pay for everything else.
I have, since I was 14, I think, a recurring knee injury.
Oh, she never mentions it.
Right.
It likes to dislocate.
Not covered.
And my thing is, in my life, I know I'm staring down the barrel of a knee replacement.
Yeah.
And it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
And they pretty much told me that when I was 16.
Oh, right, really?
And I'm like, oh my God, I've done it 7 times, I think.
So tell me, is it always painful?
It's not always painful. I have that old lady thing where it hurts when it's cold and when it rains. No sport at all.
Do you take painkillers for it at the moment? When was the last time you went to GP about it?
We are witnessing a live consultation.
When was the last time I went to the GP about it? Probably pre-COVID, when you could get
okay. So you've just been no GP visits in the last year
Actually,
or so.
I dislocated it during COVID, so I'm lying.
Okay. I mean, I bet you could get it covered on private medical insurance. We probably need a discussion about that off camera.
Switch knees.
That's my, you know what? And it's the only thing where I've always thought when it push comes to shove and it needs doing, I'd want to go private for it because it's your knee.
Yeah.
And that just feels kind of like with hip replacements, extremely important to be done right.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want that going wrong. Otherwise, it's just pain and hassle. Yeah. When I say off camera, I wasn't going to ask you to drop your trousers so I could look at your knee properly, by the way.
He does it to me all the time, every time he comes in. It's a weird fascination. But obviously during that time, I guess there's been the ups of business and there's been the downs of business. So we want to introduce you to our new version of our game, Fail or Fiction, if that's all okay. Cue the music, Molly. So we've historically played this game called Fail or Fiction. And as an avid listener to the podcast, I know that you've heard the game before. So I don't need to explain. No, I won't.
You might have to.
Well, he's reinvented it anyway.
I've reinvented it. So historically, we'd read out 3 statements from famous businesses, brands, that kind of thing. 2 of them are true. 1 of them is false. We've got to decide which is which.
Oh, this is your game?
Yeah. Well, now we're turning around on you.
Oh, so this is my game.
Yeah,
this is my thing.
So now we're going to play 2 truths and a lie. So I messaged you yesterday. I hope I did. I think I did. To prepare you to give us 2 statements which are true.
Right.
1 statement which is false. You can't tell us which one's which, okay? Right. And we've then got to guess. Me, Sophia and Molly have got to guess which one is true or which ones are true and which one is false. Yeah. Are you with us on the game?
Yeah, I am.
So what have you
prepared
for us?
The thing is, I'm not really good at lying. And if I tell the one that's the lie, you're going to know. So I was just going to put a bag on my head.
Have you got a bag? Is this a surprise?
Honestly, I thought, how am I going to get through this and do the one that's the lie and not be able to get through it with that? Because what I'll do is I'll start telling it, I'll be like that.
Please go.
So I actually found this in a room. I just thought it'd be right. Seriously. Right. Can you still hear me though?
Well, I don't know. Put it down.
Right. Can you hear me?
So I need to take a photo of this. This is my job.
So I can get through it, because after I've done them, I can smile as much as I like and we can discuss them, and then you won't know. But if I do it straight face and then do the one that's a lie...
That's fine. So just for those that are listening, so those that are watching this on YouTube, and if you've not watched this,
if you're enjoying this as an audio only medium, you're really missing out.
Go onto YouTube or look on socials. Right. But just as a bit of a description, If you can imagine a gift bag with penguins on the side.
Yeah.
Stef is now wearing that on his head. So please,
because you can't see my face.
No, I like it.
I'm lying.
No, please put the veil back down, and we'll play our.
We will play fail or fiction.
So Stef,
Right, you ready?
Ready.
Can't even look at him.
So, a number of years ago, I decided stupidly I wanted to be a plasterer. So I went on a plastering course and advertised for work, and I got a few jobs. I went to one job, and the people paid me more to leave because they felt sorry for me because how bad I was.
Did you have a back on your head then as well?
Okay.
Next one.
Story
Okay,
one. Yeah.
yeah.
Story two.
Story two. Whilst I was working at AXA, I did a diploma course in horticulture from home. So I love gardening. And so I have a diploma in horticulture, and I set up a gardening business called Plantastic Garden. Okay.
Okay.
And I got a few jobs, and one particular, I bought a van and loads of tools. I invested quite a bit of money, got the van all branded.
Did you have a tool bag?
One particular guy, he annoyed me so much that when he rang me, I told him to do one, and I quit his job and I quit the business, losing loads of money in the process of doing that.
Okay.
And then the last one, AXA PPP. It was at a time when loads of companies were moving all of their admin to India. And so they asked me to train a team in the UK, which I did. And then they asked me to fly to India to train a team over there. I was there for a couple of months, saving the company 1.5 million a year by moving all the admin over to India.
Okay. Luckily, your hair survived that.
Yeah.
Oh, which one I was lying?
No. We are going to have to ask some little probing questions though. So, can you handle that without the bag?
I might be able to.
Did we pick all that up on audio? It didn't become silly muffled, did it? So we've got the plasterer
Plastering
job
paid
where
more to leave than to finish
I was
the
paid
job.
more to leave.
okay, you had the
Horticulture.
horticulture. You
Yeah.
told her to do one. Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it was just quite hard to focus.
I told
If
the
I'm-
client to do one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you went to India and you trained a team to save the company £1.5 million.
Yeah, a year in admin costs.
Oh God, Molly! What I mean, you were probably the one that was able to listen to that the most and pay attention. What?
Molly was in tears.
Any initial? What do you reckon?
The second one, I'm leaning more towards not being real.
Oh, okay.
So that being the
Okay.
one of the light.
Yeah,
no,
the
I
lie.
the light.
The gardening one.
I will say,
Gardening one.
we know how many large-scale companies move operations offshore
Yeah.
as a means to save cost.
Yeah.
Mm.
We run into it all the time in our business.
Yeah. And you're wearing the shirt that you bought from India, so that's,
It does look like that, doesn't it?
there's a little bit.
Little paisley
But I
green.
can see, like you say, I can see someone outsourcing easily. Would someone pay more? Because this is the British public. We're tight.
Would they pay to actually take someone that knew what they were doing over there, or would they just allow?
Oh no, sorry, I meant for the plastering one.
Oh.
Like, would they pay for someone to get them out of the building?
Well, you said earlier the run-in that you had with, I know it wasn't a plasterer, it was an electrician. But if he'd have refused to leave, would you blame him to get out?
I'd have hit him.
That's the thing, is that not a testament to what the British public perhaps are like?
So
Would you rather fight someone than pay them to leave?
well, I don't know. I'm trying to think
What do you
now.
think?
I'm looking into those eyes because I don't know. I think the Indian one's true.
Yeah, I
Surely.
can see that being true.
I would have thought.
The horticulture one, so specific.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like to get.
So the story was you got a call from someone, you didn't like him, so you told him to do one. Is that right?
I was doing his gardening for. So it was a week. I did it for the week. I did it the weekends.
Yeah.
Whilst I was working at AXA to try and build up this new business venture, and I started working in his garden, and he was just like one of those clients that just becomes a complete arsehole,
Right.
you know. And because I don't do confrontation very well, rather than deal with it, I just told him to do one, and but then I just quit the whole. I just thought, stop this. The public are,
and they are.
Yeah.
And they are.
Some of them, just absolute.
But then my argument would be is, so if we're looking at the timeline of Stef Wardle here, so you've done the plastering work.
This is where I get question marks.
What, in terms of where's he fitting?
How's he fitting all this?
Yeah.
in?
But I'm thinking if he's had the experience of being paid more to do a bad plastering job, surely future Stef Wardle will go, hold on, if I glyphosate all these weeds and destroy all these plants, and weed kill them, maybe I'll get paid more to leave.
Shall we, for now, are we locking in that we do believe that the offshoring to India is true?
Yeah, it could be a red herring again, though.
Because it sounds so plausible.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's almost like lowballing.
But is he going to turn around and be like, well, it wasn't India, it was China,
or it wasn't that much
like,
money.
Yeah.
It was more.
Molly, you're the wisest out of us all. We need some.
You've got to lock in.
I don't know.
That's not very wise.
Okay, I'm still going to go with the second one then.
As being the. Well, shall we lock in on
a truth?
Let's lock in.
Oh, a truth.
Yeah.
India.
But what if you're looking on the truth and that truth isn't the truth? The game's over.
Then we lose.
Do I have to tell you now?
Yeah.
So, right. So we're gonna lock in the answer of India being the true story. True. Okay. Are we right? Was that the false story?
It's the false story.
Was that the false story? No way.
To a degree, in that I never went to India.
I told you it was a red herring.
I said, would they pay for someone to go over to India? And I don't think that they would.
Not on Stef's wages. Bloody hell, they wouldn't.
Is that a poor?
No, that's fantastic.
No. We can explore the other two stories.
I trained the team in the UK, and the team from India came over as well. But they went back to India and said, "Stef, we want you to go to India for a couple of months and train the team out there as well." And I said, probably the worst decision I've ever made, because it would look great on my CV.
So you didn't go?
So I'm too scared of flying.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I hate flying. At that time, I'm better now.
Yeah.
But at that time, I was like, "There's no way I'm flying to India. No way." So I made an excuse because I think we just had Evie at that time.
Oh, okay.
So I said, "Look, just had a baby. Don't really want to be away from the wife and the kid," which was a good enough excuse, I thought. But really deep down, it's because
you didn't want to get on the
I didn't want to get on a plane.
I missed it.
But so somebody else went in my place.
Right.
A guy who I know, bless him. But I think it failed. It just they brought the whole lot back to the UK. You know why that was? Because I didn't go. Obviously.
And you get to wear that medal now forever.
Is that on your LinkedIn? Is it?
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. So, and I think it was because, in all honesty, the way that the guys were being taught out there was really by the book, and it just slowed everything down, all the administration of everything. Where
you've got to know when to play fast and loose with things.
Yeah, or cut corners without it like being a detriment to the company or the client. There's certain things you don't insist on. You cut corners. I mean, what?
Yeah,
but it just took
corners,
so
save time.
Yeah,
it's they brought it all back.
Amazing. Well, we'll explore the other two true stories after the break. But quickly before the break, have we got time to play Mystery Mishaps before the break? Are we all okay?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We'll quickly play my game of Mystery Mishaps. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Set? Just because I was really overly prepared and didn't prepare this just before we sat in the room. It's all on my phone this time around. But Mystery Mishaps is quite a simple game. I'm going to share with you the story of a UK company that has either gone bust, had a bit of a misdemeanor, nearly gone bust, whatever it is. You've got to guess who I'm talking about. So I'm going to share an opening statement and then 5 clues.
I'm going to be shit at this.
Word of warning, you're against each other. Okay? We've got a leaderboard. So you're on the side of the guests.
Right.
It's guests v Sophia.
You're doing it for guests' honour everywhere.
You're going to be so much better than this than me.
No, not true.
Not always. 9 out of 10 times, yes. But
it's your job to be up there with business knowledge and what's going on in the world.
Well, this one's a public thing, and I've tried because of your musical background, which we'll talk about momentarily. I've gone for music. So, legendary UK-based music retailer was once the go-to place for music lovers with stores on high streets. So, fuck's sake, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like Blackberry all over again.
Oh, it is, isn't it? I've not even read the actual clues, so we'll go through the motions anyway. So the company's fortunes began to decline rapidly in the early 2000s as digital music downloads and streaming services gained popularity. The company struggled to adapt to the changing landscape, yada, yada, yada. So, clue number 1. Let's see if you can guess it from clue number 1. Company started as a small stall in London's Oxford Street in the early 20th century, which is the early 1900s, and grew into a nationwide chain.
HMV.
Okay, good guess. Not quite right. It was a pioneer in promoting popular music with stores that became cultural hubs for music fans.
Any guesses?
HMV.
It could be. Despite attempts to diversify its offerings with DVDs, games and electronics, the rise of digital music severely impacted its business.
You've lost me.
Clue
You got
number 4.
another clue?
The company famously went into administration in 2013. And then clue number 5, after a period of uncertainty, the brand was resurrected by a Canadian company and continues to operate, though on a smaller scale. Who do you think that company is?
HMV. I'll tell you what, though, how they've turned their fortunes around is amazing. Because you go into their stores now, my daughter loves it. You see a load of kids there. I think it's all the chintz they've got in there now. Just all the products. It's not just about records
loads
and
of merch and stuff.
all the merchandise, plushies.
It's a fan's dream, isn't it?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They've gone for sort of a Forbidden Planet kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
They've
Forbidden
leaned
Planet.
into
Oh my
it.
God, I went into that in Leicester the other day just because I used to go in there all the time as a kid.
Yeah.
Not been in it for like 20 years. I reclaimed my virginity.
Really?
I was
You didn't lose your virginity in there, did you?
Look, that was a different time, different,
If you're going to lose your virginity anywhere, it's not going to be there.
The manager Pete was awfully kind. So just as a bonus point, what does HMV actually stand for?
Why do I think it's named after?
No. You know, like HMRC.
Revenue and Customs.
Revenue and Customs.
Why do I get this feeling it's named after like the son or daughter of the owner?
No, it's no names. No names.
Something else.
I'll try and give you a clue. You would have seen it. You would have seen it.
It's the dog. Is it the doggy?
On a record, listening to an old gramophone.
Yeah.
And what does it say underneath?
Hi. Hi. Is it hi something?
Harvey.
No names.
I'm right though, isn't it? That it's the dog.
The dog with the gramophone.
Is it HM? No. Well, I was thinking F.
I've walked past this.
Give us what does the H mean?
25 years.
His.
HMV. His music.
Think about what the dog could be listening to. Not Waldorf.
His music visual. His what?
His music visual?
Yeah.
He's listening to a gramophone, Sophia.
His.
Is it voice? Something voice?
Yes.
His musical voice.
His master's voice.
His master's voice.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll continue. We'll dive deeper into some of Stef's misdemeanors and mishaps after these short messages.
Hi.
Podcasts have had a massive boom recently. They've been around for a while, but they are right in the forefront of everyone's mind right now. And I've no doubt that people listening to this will want to start their own podcast. What should they do, Sophia?
They should get in touch with us at Paragon Creative Studios.
Absolutely, they should.
Whether you absolutely don't know where to start with podcasts and you want us to fully produce, edit, and everything in between, we can handle that. If you just want some space, if you just need some kit, we've got every different offering that you could possibly look at so that you could design your perfect podcast.
Absolutely. We've got 3 separate recording rooms over there ready to go, ready polished, and we want to hear from you. So perhaps you've got a great story to tell. Perhaps you want to market your business by using the power of podcasting. Maybe you want to interview some of the best people that you know. Whatever your podcast idea, we'd love to work with you on it. All you've got to do is visit www. I don't know why I said www. That's like a given, isn't it? All you got to do is visit our website, paragoncreativestudios.co.uk. Give us a Google, send us a message, and we'll get everything set up for you.
How exciting.
Welcome back to the latest episode.
How many you had?
Not enough. Welcome back to another...
Welcome back to another edition of How I Failed in Business we are still here with the wonderful Stef Wardle, and we are about to dive in a little bit more on his 2 truths.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting those. I would have thought I would have known about the plastering thing. So
I might have mentioned it before. I can't remember.
How does one turn up to someone's house and get charged extra to leave?
How poor of a plasterer were you?
Well, I went on this 2-week course to do plastering, and I was really good at it. But it was small booths, putting up plasterboard, learning how to obviously plasterboard and deal with problems that you get. You know, whilst I was on the course, I was advertising for jobs in a local rag mags, and you know, there must have been a shortage of plasterers because I was just getting all these calls telling me to come out. So anyway, I did a few small jobs, friends, and the public. I'll tell you what happened when I decided it wasn't for me, and I quit in a minute. But it's a sad story. So I went to this guy's house. It was a really nice couple, and I said to everybody that I went to, I'm very new at this. I literally passed my plastering course. Well, when I say passed, they were like, "You're all right to go, mate. Go on, off into the big well." And so I said, "Look, I'm new at this. I'm not going to charge you a proper plasterer's rates. This is what I'll charge if you'll let me do your house for practice." Yeah, of course you can. So I was doing this guy's house. I think what happened, in that house, in this same house, I was plastering this wall, and 3 blokes came in, and they all pulled up this chair behind me and sat there and watched me plaster this. Didn't say a thing. They watched me plaster this wall. And I was looking over my shoulder thinking, what are they doing? They just all sat there watching me, and then they just got up and left. So whether they were there to see for more business, maybe they were business owners wanting
a showcase, a plastering showcase.
I don't know. Maybe the guy at the house just knew these people, and they just got his plastering money. Come and have a look, see if it's any good for your business. Didn't say a word to me. Didn't say hello. Just came in, sat down.
Did you not say anything to them?
No, I don't know why I didn't either. I just thought I'd get on with the job.
Zone.
Yeah,
I was in the zone. Yeah. But anyway, that zone really was. I must have left the zone because over time, I remember towards the end of it, the wife of the house would follow me around with like a mop because I put loads of sheets down, but I was starting to like lose focus.
Yeah,
getting plaster on the floorboards. The plastering jobs, they were all right, but there were some that weren't great. And I think the husband, he was a really nice guy. He said, "Look, we thank you for what you've done so far, but we probably don't need to have you anymore." And he got out a wad of cash and just gave me a wad of cash.
And that was it?
And that was it. I left.
Wow.
Job kind of 3/4 done.
I think that's probably the best way you could have possibly made out of that.
Yeah.
But the fact, I mean, it was so nice because he obviously felt sorry for me because he was having to kick me out.
Yeah.
He knew I was new and trying to get into the plastering game. So that was that. And the last job I ever had, I went round to this house, and it was kind of like in late autumn, winter time. So I went round in the early evening where it was getting dusk and dark. And I was doing this thing where I touched the walls and like, oh yeah. That's going to need plastering, that is. That feels a bit soft there. Ooh, you know. But I'll tell you what, I'll do it all. I'll do it all for like 600 quid. And then the guy goes, yeah, you can do that, 600 quid. And you go around the next morning in the daylight, you look at it all, and you're putting your finger through the walls. It's all lath and plaster, and it's all pulling off. And I remember going around to this house thinking, oh my God, what have I got myself into? So I went home, sat on the toilet and cried. I literally cried on the toilet. Not like in the middle of something. Yeah. But like literally sat on the toilet, and my wife came. She said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I've been around this house. I've been around last night. I charged 600 quid. I don't think I can do it anymore." She said, "Well, just quit then." I was like, "All right then." So I quit. I can't remember what I did after that. I think I might have gone back to AXA because that was at the time I left AXA to do this new venture.
Yeah.
And I rang them up, "Can I have my job back, please?" And they gave me a job back. Yeah.
It's all worked out for the best.
Yeah. I mean, what a daft idea. And the reason I went into plastering was I bought a new house with my wife, and there was a wall that it had like some of the plaster would come off. So I bought polyfiller from B&Q, right?
Yeah.
Polyfiller. And I was filling in these cracks and these big bits of plaster that were missing, smoothing it down with a trowel, like a trowel you get your wallpaper off with, not a proper plasterer's trowel. And then I'd get like a big belt sander
Just to smooth it down.
Smoothing this wall down, right? And my mum's husband came round and went, "God, you're good at plastering, aren't you?" I was like, "I think I am. I'll go on a plastering course." And that's what got me into it. Not really like, no plastering skills whatsoever. Just what I was good at was polyfilling holes.
Which isn't full credit to you, is a terribly difficult skill, clearly.
It is. I mean, I brought stilts the whole lot.
Did you really?
Thinking that I would be able to like do all these plastering on stilts. I bought myself a pair of stilts. Me, one guy in a room, holding onto the ladders for dear life with these stilts on, trying to put plasterboard on the ceiling. I mean, I could have killed myself. Literally, I could have killed myself.
Well, we got some plastering that needs doing in the new studio. If you can
Ask
quote
someone
us
else.
up.
Ask someone else. Well, how big is it?
I could probably just polyfiller it, mate, to be honest. Well, I want to explore the gardening thing a little bit, but the thing that I've always got from you, because I know there's been a couple of other business ventures throughout the years. I don't know what we can talk about, what we can't talk about, but
all of them.
I'd say you're a very multi-pronged entrepreneur. Would you say?
No.
Oh.
No, I mean, Medical Made Easy is my baby, and that I do well at that. That's a good little business, and you know I'll have that, and I'll work hard at that forever. But the other stuff I've got involved in is mainly because of friends that have wanted me to help them set something up. The plastering and the gardening was really trying to find a way out of a job that I really wasn't enjoying anymore. You know, and I loved AXA PPP. It's a great place to work, and I loved working there because the people were fantastic, and we were like a family. Because it was like a call centre, really. You know, we just did administration, took calls, sorted brokers' problems out. But it was a real good family environment. We all went out for beers. We were talking earlier about going out for beers after work, which no one does anymore.
No.
You know, on a Friday, we'd all get down Braunston Gate in Leicester and go out for beers. It was a great time. But I was unhappy there, and I wanted to find a way out. And those two things were things that I tried to do to get me out. And I'm glad I did, you know, because we talk about failing in business. I mean, failing such a negative word. I mean, I choose to think of it like it was just an experience that it grew me in some ways. And things about failing, then you really do understand what you're good at and what you're not good at. Yeah. To stick to what you know and stick to what you're good at, unless you've got the time to really put the effort in. When you've got a small kid and you're plastering people's houses and coming home crying, you know, it's not going to put food on the table. So the plastering thing and the gardening thing was really a way out of. So entrepreneurial wise, I mean, the Be On Your Game book. Yes, I designed.
One's by your feet, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, this bloody thing. So. This was a book, an idea I came up with, because I like playing PlayStation games. That's my ultimate kind of relaxation time, really. So I came up with this design that kids could use to make notes for their games, so they can jump into games. But, you know, it's so bugger all.
Really?
And the worst thing about that, I'm not giving up on it, because Christmas is coming up, and I might do a bit more marketing on social media to try and get some sales for Christmas. But I thought that would make me a millionaire. I really, really did. And the worst thing about setting up that was, because I thought it was going to be so successful, I invested quite a bit of money in setting up a website, getting the books printed, it just hasn't really taken off. I had my first troll.
Really?
On TikToks.
Oh
some guy saying, "Why would I buy that? I can just get a notepad from pound store for £1."
Yeah.
Like, well, it won't be printed. And all of this is like all the design in here has all been patented as well through the government website. Really? So you can't copy this. It's unique. You can't get this anywhere else. Why would I get that? I can get £1 for £1. Your business will never take off. And it really angered me. I went to search. You know, I got into that thing where I'm trying to drill down, who is this guy? It was like some 12-year-old kid.
Yeah. Well, you didn't batter a 12-year-old, did you, Steph?
I went around his house. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, I don't like taking risks, but maybe I do like taking risks. You know what I mean?
I think you're very risk. I don't think you take stupid risks, but I think you go for those risks where you think they're a dead cert. You know, and I remember us talking about that book on the run up to you producing it and publishing it and so on. I mean, just on the book then, obviously, look, hopefully we'll get some sales for Christmas time, and obviously we'll maybe drop a link in the comments below if people want to go check it out for their kids, their nephews, or for themselves and stuff. Now you know what you know.
Yeah.
What would you have done? What would you do differently? Or what would you go back to yourself 12 months ago?
What, as a whole of everything?
About that book. Yeah, about that project.
Well, just on a small point, I wouldn't have set up a website and spent 1,500 quid on a website. There's just no need for that. So that's where a lot of the money went. The designing of the book, I wanted it to be the best it could be. I feel like I'm going to plug. Who are they? Bloody hell! Saw Valley Press helped me put the book together. I
was about to probe.
Saw Valley, they put it together for me, and they did a great job, like putting my idea into being. But having the website, I shouldn't have spent so much money doing the website. Someone told me, "Did you not research that people would want this book?" I was like, "No. Well, surely if you'd researched it, you would have known whether people would want this book or not." But at the end of the day, I'll be the type of person, if everyone turned around like 85% of people said they wouldn't use the book, so, out of 500 people, I'd have gone, I'm going to do it anyway, because you've only asked 500 people.
I agree, and I always agree and disagree to that product. But there's that famous quote from Henry Ford, like the person who invented like modern day automotives. He said, if I did what the customer wanted, I would have made horses go faster. Henry Ford said, right, our method of transport, which is horse and cart, is not good enough. So let's make cars which are faster, more convenient, can go further, longer, more safe, everything else. Yeah. He says if he'd have listened to the customer, they would have figured out a way to make horses go faster. Yeah. So sometimes I think you've got to follow your heart and deviate to what you think is right, haven't you, really?
But, if it doesn't sell, I've got 80 books at home I've got to get through for the next...
So how many have you got left? 80?
I think I've got about 70 books left.
70 books, yeah.
I did an exhibition, tried to flog them, sold a couple, but gave a few away, trying to build some traction.
Yeah. I bought a copy.
You bought a copy.
I did buy a
gathering
copy.
Dust in your bottom drawer.
It's not. It's in my office. It's upstairs.
Yeah.
Should be next to my PlayStation.
Yeah, it should. But I just don't think... as people have told me, my kids are young, they don't need to remember what buttons do on there. They can just remember. They don't need to write them down. And I'm like, but what if you're playing a game and you come across something that you've got to go back to later? You might forget about it. Because games are so big now. They're massive. Yeah. And they might want to make a note. That's what I do when I'm playing my game. And the thing, and it would have been, if it had taken off, it would have been one. I've got one for the Xbox, one for the PlayStation. It would have been the Wii. It would have been all the other consoles out there. One design for each gaming console out there.
Well, look, I think there's definitely whether it's just me getting older, I don't know, but I'm an avid gamer. I like playing my games, and sometimes I put a game down for 2 or 3 months because I suddenly get busy. Yeah. You go back to that game, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Do you know what I was playing recently? Sophia's eyes are glazing over as we speak, but Jack and Daxter. Remember the original Jack and Daxter for PlayStation 2? I was playing that the other day. Fucking great game.
Which one? The original?
The Precursor Legend.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very first one.
Yeah. I've just finished the recent one.
Yeah. Well, my intention was to go through them all, to, start a little series and go through them all. I can't finish the first one. But the thing is, for me, and I don't want to deviate from business and talk about games, but games these days, in my opinion, are too complicated. They complicate themselves unnecessarily, and they overwhelm themselves with, you've got to pick this up, you've then got to blend that with that thing, and then you've got to use this special station to create this special wonder rocket, which is the only weapon that can kill this person. Yeah. I don't have time for that. And
the thing is, you pay £60-70 for games now. You want to get the most out of them. So why not make notes?
Exactly.
Like you would anything else, because you want to get the most out of your game. You want to get the most for your money. You want to play that game for as long as you can. Like get all the awards. You want to get the trophies or whatever. And you can only do that, I think, by having a bit of a note somewhere that things you need to remember to do. It sounds really anal, but I do it. I still do it. And you're right, because I don't play my PlayStation that often. A couple of times a week when I got the time. I could play it all the time, really, in the evenings, but got a family, you know.
I know. We're supposed to be grown men.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're supposed to have a life.
So when I jump back into a game, I've got my notes to remind me what the combinations I've opened up and things like that. Anyway.
But obviously we'll drop a link, into the show notes. So if people want to go check it out, do so. Like I said, I think it's a great product. It was shipped to me within 2 or 3 days, so it's nice, quick and convenient, and wasn't too pricey either. What other lessons have you learned from that whole process of, coming up with this idea, going through the motions? You said that you've gone through a whole patenting process, a design process, a marketing process. What other things have you learned, or other failures you made during that time?
With Beyond Your Game.
I mean, one big mistake is you didn't come to us for the website, but it's okay.
Well, I like to spread the love.
No, I know you do. And to be fair, you did drop me a message. You did say, look,
I'm
using someone else.
I like to spread the love.
Then I blocked you. Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything, actually. I could probably look back and say, should I have done it, and not bothered. But I feel really proud that I've kind of come up with a creation that you can't buy anywhere. It's brand new to market, and maybe that's why it's not selling. It's before its time. It just needs a bit more time, a bit more traction to get out there.
Yeah.
But maybe it is just a worthless notebook, that people don't see the benefit of. Because even now playing games, I'm not going to go that way, so we'll start talking about games again. But I wouldn't really change anything.
No.
And like I say, the only thing I would probably change is the amount of investment I put in the first place. I probably should have held back a bit and not bothered, because the way things are going, I'm not going to get it back. And maybe that's how you deem a business to fail. It's all right failing in certain aspects of a business or certain ideas. But if you learn from it, great, and move forward. But if you've lost a ton of money, that's got to be a fail, hasn't it?
Would you say it's a lesson?
It is a lesson. If a business if you can't run a business effectively and it's closed down, that's a failed business.
Yeah.
You might take lessons from it, but because I was thinking about this podcast, how I failed in business. What does failing mean? And I've been thinking really hard. I think if I had a business and closed down and lost a ton of money, that's a failed business. That's a fail.
True.
And you can take your lessons from it, but ultimately, that's how I failed in business. I think.
There we go.
There we go. We've answered the question.
We've solved it.
and I think if Beyond Your Game doesn't sell a few more books, then that'll be a failure. Smart Tour the Camera thing. Fantastic Gardens, failure, because I spent a load of money buying a van and tools and just decided to quit because I can't do confrontation very well. And I just decided to knock it on the head. So that was a failure. But yeah,
So tell us a little bit.
Plantastic Gardens. What was this?
So I've always been into gardening since I was a young kid. When my nan used to always get me in the garden planting marigolds and shit like that, neat rows. And so I just always had a thing for it. I don't know why. In fact, part of my tattoo is horticulture.
Show it off to the camera. We'll zoom in.
Horticulture. This guy's a martial artist. I do martial arts, and then he's playing a flute because I write music. I'm in a band, so it's those three elements of my life that mean a lot to me. So yeah, horticulture. When I was working at AXA, I did this diploma in horticulture, and I set up this gardening business. And again, just having the forethought to advertise in rag mags while I was doing the diploma course, getting a few jobs, and they were all kind of like clearing. But this one particular job was tough because he had like one of these 100-foot gardens that was covered in bramble. I'll tell you something funny in a minute. It's dirty but funny. He had a 100-foot garden, and it was all covered in bramble, just overgrown. And the way I cleared that garden, mate, I'm telling you, it was what it looked like afterwards. Had the whole new lawn laid. I had a builder come that helped me built this nice wall, put plants in. But the guy was just never satisfied, just always whinging. I got to the point where I thought he was whinging because he wanted me to keep knocking money off.
Right.
Because I didn't do confrontation. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I won't charge you for that. Well, blah, blah, I won't charge you for I mean, this is how bad it was, right? I was gardening on a hot day on a week, because it was weekends I was doing it, because I was working at AXA. So it was a side thing, a side hustle. And I was at the top end, it was really hot, and I was sweating like a pig, you know. And I just stood there. I thought, I need to break wind. Right. I let out this little trump. I completely shut myself. Right. At the very far end of this bloody garden. And you have to imagine, right, in your head.
I don't want to imagine.
I had my spade in the ground, and I just stood there for about 5 seconds with my hands on this spade, like resting on it, thinking, what the fuck am I going to do now? I had to walk all the way down this garden like John Wayne, right, dead slowly, thinking, oh no, hoping the owners won't come out of the house asking me how I'm doing. Stop me for a moment. Do you want a cup of tea? No, I'm all right. I'm just going to go home and have my lunch. I.e. tidy up. Get in my van, sit down in it all. Oh, horrible. I thought, gardening's not for me. So anyway, yeah. So this guy, it was just like a pain in the butt, and he rang me just moaning at. I think I had a skip coming or something. I had like bags of garden waste that were sitting by the side of his house. They were starting to smell a bit. He was whinging at that, and I just had enough of him by that time. And I was in the van. I said, "Look, I've done your garden to the best of my ability. It looks fine now compared to what it did. Don't pay me any more money. I'm done. I'm out of here." And he was like, "Okay," and I just left it at that. But that whole experience really did put me off on wanting to work with public.
Yeah. And
because of my issue with confrontation, I think, which is why I find it much easier to deal with businesses, because I love going to talk to businesses. It's more professional and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's a fantastic garden. That was something I wish I hadn't started.
No, but led some great stories.
Yeah.
All the same, some great stories. Well, we're getting the 10-minute shout from Molly.
Yep.
So shall we play our final game of the day, which is Jingle Tingle? So this has become my favourite game. Now, Jingle Tingle is very simple. I'm going to play to you 3 adverts. Now, I think these are all from the 90s. I think could be early 2000s. I'll play you a little snippet, and you've got to guess what brand, what it's advertising, who the company is, everything else in between. Okay, so feel free to shout out. Feel free
you
to
say shit then.
Well, not again, please, mate. That's a cream sofa. That. So this one actually is from. Not that one. This one's from 1992. Are you ready for the first one?
Yeah.
Hello, Tony. I think we might use a video replay here. Super, Ralph. Let's do that.
I love it.
Oh, yes, we could be in for a quintessential tango sensation here.
Say again?
Tango.
It was the original. Well, one of the original. You've been tangoed, or he's got tangoed. With the little tango man, and he gets slapped around the face. Do you remember this? Is this before your time?
I remember it.
Do you remember doing this like in school?
Yeah, you just go up to your mates and just slap them in the face.
Can't do that
Oh,
anymore.
you've been tangoed. Yeah. So well done. So 1 point to you,
I think
Steph.
I heard the word tango in the advert, I think.
Yes, so did I.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I just got there first.
Right.
It's like HMV. I let you have it.
I think you'll get this one pretty quick. I've had to try and take out the main slogan, because I think if you hear that, you'll know it straight away. Are you ready?
Hello? Hey, who? What's up? None, B. Just watching the game, having a bud.
Oh, shit.
What's up with you?
Budweiser.
Is it Budweiser?
It was
Yeah.
It was the
What's
Bud
up?
What's up? Once again, can you remember running around doing that?
Yeah.
All the time. That's Corona.
I know.
Oh, right. The final one. Oh no, that's the tango one again. This one, I think, is a bit newer. I don't think you'll get this one. I don't think any 3 of you will get this. I don't think. You ready?
I'm red. Head, I'm busy. I'm off my head. Whether you're dressed or in the nuddy, I'm your cocker, your pal, and your bestest buddy.
Oh, nothing.
Fizzy.
I don't think you can get this anymore.
Lucozade.
Iron
Brew.
You can get Iron Brew.
Lilt.
No, I can see why you've gone for Lilt. Do you want to hear it again?
You can do.
I'm red.
I'm red.
Is it fizzy pop?
It's a fizzy drink.
And is it red?
It's red.
Cherryade?
I don't know what flavour it could be. Some
Just
kind of
red
cherry
flavour.
drink. Yeah.
Like how blue is just blue flavour.
Yeah.
I don't think you can get this anymore.
I'm red.
I'm
Don't know.
something is. I've had to bleed that because that's the name.
I don't drink a lot of fizzy pop, you know.
No. Oh, you can still get it. You can still get
Any
it
guesses, Mum?
bottled in North Lanarkshire and still sold in the UK, in the United Kingdom.
Oh, it's like Smith's Chris. You're going to get them up north.
Launched in 1924.
Rubicon?
No. It was known as the Pickup's Appetizer. I think it has been bought by Bar, who famously do Iron Brew.
Don't know.
Any ideas, Mole? No. Are we giving up on this one?
Yeah.
Tizer.
Tizer.
Do you remember Tizer?
I don't.
That was kind of like an Iron Brew type thing, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been
Well,
bought
they've
out
bought
by the company. I'll show you the advert.
Tizer, yeah.
That we're talking about here. Do you remember the ad?
No. It looks quite modern, that advert, considering talking about Tizer.
I thought it was 2000s. I think that advert was. I think, give or take. But thanks for playing.
No, it's fun.
Jingle, jingle, tingle. 2-0 to Steph.
Yeah.
Sophia.
Is it?
Left in the dust, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. No, don't apologise. It's a competition. But Steph, look, it's been a great episode, full of great memories. I'm sure there's loads of people wanting to speak to you about, medical insurance and employee benefits and everything else in between. How's best for people to contact you?
Email Stefan. I've got the worst name in the world to try and spell.
What, Stefan?
Stefan Wardle. Stefan Stefan. And it's the worst email as well. At MME, Mother Echo, FS, Freddie Sierra. It's all those letters that really.
Yeah.
People like F, S, F.
I'm sure everyone's following along really attentively.
.co.uk. Just go to my website and check out the link that's probably going to be on this
We'll
podcast.
put everything
But
in the show notes.
It will be, and we'll tag in the show notes below and let people reach out to you. But it's been a pleasure sitting down and chatting.
No, it's been fun.
Been a great
enjoyed
episode.
it. I wish it was longer.
Yeah, I know. I get told that a lot, but yeah. But no, thanks so much for coming. And look, maybe there's another chance in the future for another episode.
Yeah,
as things evolve over the next 6 months or so. But do you want to? We didn't really agree who was going to sign off on this one. I'll sign. I'll sign off. So we've only got 1 minute. So thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of How I Failed in Business. Just do me a very quick favour. Make sure you hit that follow button if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button. It really does help. Thank you so much for watching. Our episodes come out every Tuesday and Friday, as normally joined by my lovely guests, my lovely host, Sophia. And we've always got a great host. They can't always be as funny as Stef Wardle, I'm afraid, but we'll try. But thanks so much for tuning in. And until next time, all the best.
Bye.